Hello, Western Intermediate, and welcome to the Great Kindness Challenge Story Hour. Each day, I'm going to have a different book that I read aloud that your teacher can play for you in class. I'll also have some discussion questions at the end if you want to discuss as a class with your teacher. If you don't discuss as a class, feel free to copy the discussion questions down and email your answers to me. Today, the book that I chose to read is called Each Kindness. I think that it gives a great message of what kindness can do for others and what being unkind can do for others as well as ourselves. So I'd love for you guys to take a listen. The winter snow fell on everything, turning the world a brilliant light. One morning, as we settled into our seats, the classroom door opened and the principal came in. She had a girl with her, and she said to us, "This is Maya." Maya looked down at the floor. I think I heard her whisper, "Hello." We all stared at her. Her coat was open, and the clothes beneath it looked old and ragged. Her shoes were spring shoes, not meant for the snow. A strap on one of the shoes had broken. Our teacher, Ms. Albert, said, "Say good morning to our student." But most of us were silent. The only empty seat was next to me, and that's where our teacher put Maya. And on that first day, Maya turned to me and smiled, but I didn't smile back. I moved my chair, myself, and my books a little farther away from her. When she looked my way, I turned to the window and stared out at the snow. And every day after that, when Maya came into the classroom, I looked away and didn't smile back. My best friends that year were Kendra and Sophie. At lunchtime, we walked around the schoolyard, our fingers laced together, whispering secrets into each other's ears. One day, while we were near the slide, Maya came over to us. She held open her hand to show us the shiny jacks and tiny red ball she'd gotten for her birthday. "It's a high bouncer," she said. But none of us wanted to play, so Maya played a game against herself. That afternoon, when we got back into the classroom, Maya whispered to me, "Bet you can't guess who the new Jacks champion in the world is." Behind me, Andrew whispered, "Chloe's got a new friend, Chloe's got a new friend." "She's not my friend," I whispered back. The weeks passed. Every day we whispered about Maya, laughing at her clothes, her shoes, and the strange food that she brought for lunch. Some days, Maya held out her hands to show us what she had brought to school. A deck of cards, pickup sticks, a small tattered doll. Whenever she asked us to play, we said no. The days grew warmer and warmer. The pond thawed. Grass began growing where the snow had once been. One day, Maya had come into the school wearing a pretty dress and fancy shoes. But the shoes and the dress looked like they belonged to another little girl before Maya. "I have a new name for her," Kendra whispered. "Never knew. Everything she has came from a secondhand store." We all laughed. Maya stood by the fence. She was holding a jump rope, but did not come over to us and ask if we wanted to play. After a while, she folded it double, rolled the ends around to each hand, and started jumping. She jumped around the whole schoolyard without stopping. Just jumped, jumped, jumped. The next day, Maya's seat was empty. In class that morning, we were talking about kindness. Miss Albert had brought a big bowl into class, filled it with water. We all gathered around her desk and watched her drop the small stone into it. Tiny waves rippled out away from the stone. "This is what kindness does," Miss Albert said. "Each little thing we do goes out like a ripple into the world." Then Miss Albert let us each drop the stone into the water as we told her what kind things we had done. Joseph held the door for his grandmother. Kendra helped change her baby brother's diaper. Even mean old Andrew had done something. "I carried teacher's books up the stairs," he said, and Miss Albert said it was true. I stood there holding Miss Albert's rock in my hand, silent. "Even small things count," Miss Albert said gently, but I couldn't think of something, and I passed the stone on. Maya didn't come to school the next day, or the day after that. Each morning I walked to school slowly, hoping this would be the day that Maya returned, and she'd look at me and smile. I promised myself this would be the day that I smiled back. Each kindness, Miss Albert had said, makes the world a little bit better. But Maya's seat remained empty, and one day Miss Albert announced to the class that Maya wouldn't be coming back. Her family had to move away, Miss Albert said. Then she told us to take out our books. It was time for spelling. That afternoon, I walked home alone. When I reached the pond, my throat filled with all the things I wished I would have said to Maya, each kindness I had never shown. I threw small stones into it over and over, watching the way the water rippled out over and away, out and away. Like each kindness, done and not done, like every girl somewhere, holding a small gift out to someone, and that someone turning away from it. I watched the water ripple as the sun set through the maples, and the chance of kindness with Maya became more and more forever gone. The end. I love that book because I think it shows how when we treat others with kindness, it makes us feel good. And when we don't share kindness with others, it can make our hearts hurt inside. I'm going to post some discussion questions, so feel free to discuss those as a class or think about them yourself and email me your answers. I hope you guys learned a little bit of something. I hope you enjoyed our first story hour, and I'll have another video ready for you tomorrow.